Hello everyone! Today on Vicky's Gaming Thoughts, I'm going to dive into another tarot reading for Dragon Age 4 to predict today for the predictions of Tevinter. Can you feel it? Because I'm feeling it. I'm totally vibing Tevinter today. And the reading, the spread that I'm going for today is for the Tevinter reading is the Celtic Cross spread. It's a pretty elaborate one, all depending obviously. If you're new to the channel and you like Dragon Age and other BioWare games, then stick around and maybe subscribe. Alright, so let's get into it. Once again, I shuffled everything in a mishmashy way so that we don't have the same upright cards. Alright, so thinking about the issue at hand. So Tevinter, we know we're going to Tevinter, but what role exactly does Tevinter have? Is it going to have? How much is it going to play? Is it going to fix the errors that Tevinters from the past have caused and things that they created? So just generally, you know, everything Tevinter Magisters, Black Chantry, all that stuff, Old Gods, First Blight, all that wonderful stuff going to Tevinter in the next game, trying to ally with Tevinter. So what's going on there? What's going on with the Vints? Alright, so all face up. Number 1 over here. Number 2. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So let's move this here. 3, 4, 5, 6. And the number 2 position, number 2, the top of number 2 is here, so it's reversed. So 1 and 2 are reversed. And then 7, I'll kind of overlap them. 7, 8, 9, 10. Interesting. A lot of reversed cards in here. Okay. So number 1 is the current situation. And we've got the 10 of Staves reversed. 10 of Staves is the fear demon. Not nightmare, but fear all the same. And what was in the previous reading? Fear. Alright, so reversed. Collapse. Ooh, collapse of the veil. Current situation. Alright, so we've got the collapse, maybe the collapse of the Chantry. Overcommitment. Yes, Solus is overly committed to his goals. Halted plans. Maybe his plans have been halted. Incompetence. Well, the Vints kind of have proven to be somewhat incompetent. Total failure. Burdensome success. Well, Dorian's success has come with a burden. Huge losses. Wasted efforts. Disastrous outcomes. Yes, the Vints have been behind some of the most disastrous outcomes that have occurred throughout history. And Thedas, danger approaching. Danger approaches. Is it danger of Vints necessarily? Is danger approaching Tevinter? Or is it that we, the character, when we go to Tevinter, danger approaches us? Or maybe Solus is approaching Tevinter, or something. Danger is approaching. So that's in the future for Tevinter. That's the future, but about the current situation. Current influences. We have the 7 of Wands. And that's kind of interesting that the first 2 cards are Wands. We have 2 Wands here. We have a Major Arcana there, Major Arcana. That's Swords, Cups, Coins. Here we have Swords. We have another 10, Swords. We have another Major Arcana and another Swords. So we're going to look at that at the end, but we don't have that many staves, and we have quite a few major arcana. So that's interesting. All right, so 7 of staves is terror. Reversed, self-doubt, influencing maybe people, maybe certain Vints, belated efforts, embarrassment, fear and anxiety, denial, dissimulation, refusal to carry burdens. Do the Vints have a tendency to blame others? Taking life easy. Well, you know, Vint mages seem to have life kind of easy. Avoiding challenges, lack of virtue. Well, they think themselves quite virtuous. Avoiding confrontation. No, I don't think the Vints avoid confrontation. All right, number 3 over here is the foundation of the situation. And we have the Queen of Cups, Vivian. Queen of Cups has been appearing in a few readings. Vivian, she represents mages, powerful mages. She also represents the circle. We're going to Tevinter, so maybe there's going to be something with the circle, the Andrastian circle, and the Black Chantry circle. So let's see. Foundation of the situation. And it is upright. Warmth, empathy, motherliness, home and hearth, fairness, romantic loving, insightfulness, being a good confidant, trusting feelings, idealism, lightness. So that pretty much describes a character with companions in either a specific location or in a specific circumstance and situation. So this could basically be a reflection of, because it's the foundation of the situation, so it could basically be our character starting off or arriving in Tevinter, things that make allies good allies. Now number 4 is passing influences. So influences that are on their way, but that will drift away eventually. And here we have a major arcana. We have number 11, which is Justice. The Dragon Age Inquisition Tarot deck, it's Blackwall. So it is upright. Balance, objectivity. So balance is always good. Fairness, truth. Ooh, seekers of truth, finding truth perhaps. So truth, the search for truth might be something that influences part of the game. Virtue and honor, dignity and morality, law. Interesting. Etiquette, well, in Tevinter they probably have certain etiquettes. Conscience, equity, reward, advice, equilibrium. Again, something balanced. Someone working on your behalf. So are we going to be working for someone, or is someone going to be working for us on our behalf? Speculation of our character working on the Inquisitor's behalf. And since this right now where we are is the end of Inquisition, so maybe it has to do with the Inquisitor, someone working on behalf of the Inquisitor. Verdicts, retribution towards / against the oppression caused by the Vints or the Magisters. You know, natural law. When I say Magisters, I mean Coryphifish and that gang. Natural law, justice, etc. So justice. Are we going to meet justice / vengeance? If Anders was killed, maybe the fact that he is an abomination kept him actually alive. I have theories about that. Natural law, you know, that's interesting. A lot of what the Vints have done doesn't necessarily fit in natural law. They force things. They they manipulate magic in ways that even the circle doesn't, you know. I mean, just look at Alexius. You know, Dorian said it himself, they just, so I think in terms of Dragon Age natural law would fit, there would be less blood magic if everything fit more in Thedas natural law, whereas the Vints have a tendency to do blood magic. But then, like Solis says, it really depends how it's used. So maybe if it's used forcefully to harm other people, then, you know, it really depends. But I find that pretty interesting.
So just a quick insert because I completely skipped over number 5. So number 5 represents on the short term passing influences, so within 3 months, and it's the 6 of Swords, which is the dual-handed warrior. It is upright, so improvements is always good, because Tevinter, given what happened in the past because of Vints, it can only improve from there. A positive attitude, that's always interesting. Steady progress, sorting things out. Maybe the Vints are going to sort things out since we're going to have an alliance with them, sorting things out between the two chantries, sorting our differences out. Congenial atmosphere, that's always fun to have a congenial atmosphere. Synthesis, a tranquil journey. Now, maybe this means that not necessarily that the journey will be calm, but I think it has to do with a tranquil. Maybe we're going to learn the journey of a tranquil with the reversal of the Rite of Tranquility. New opportunities, that's always good to have in a game. Success from a sacrifice or after worries. So what are we going to have to sacrifice? Is someone going to sacrifice themselves? Are we going to be obliged to make some sort of sacrifice? Is Solis going to sacrifice himself? Is a Vint going to sacrifice himself? The Archon, perhaps? A sacrifice that will lead to success. So at the end of the game, is it going to lead to a sacrifice in order to have a positive outcome? Who knows? Exactness, specialists, adequate advice. That's always good, adequate advice. So this is kind of interesting. It's not the worst of outcomes, but I am worried about the sacrifice thing.
Number 6, we have the 9 of Coins. The 9 of Coins reversed. The 9 of Coins is Maxwell Trevelyan and reversed. So lack and loss, discontent, imprudence, crudeness, insecurity, fear of loss, having not enough money, financial embarrassment. If we don't play our cards right, pun intended, you know, and save up our gold. Health issues, monotony, dullness, and habituation, loss of valued possessions. So the Vints have a lot of, you know, they see themselves as royalty, they put themselves up, you know, especially the Magisters. So maybe this is representative that it's not so much in the physical realm, but I think it's more on the symbolic side of things, that the Vints are going to lose a lot. The reputation is going down. The truths that will uncover, you know, but then there'll be a chance for them to put themselves back up. But you know what I'm saying? It's more, I see it more as a symbolic loss and a symbolic lack than a physical loss and lack. But they might also lose a lot of slaves, which would be good because the elven slaves would be freed. Now, number 7 here, we have the 10 of Swords, which is Iron Bull. And it's reversed. Exhaustion, narrow escape, escaping things narrowly, which is something that occurs often in games such as these. Catastrophe that is averted. That's always good. That's excellent. What catastrophe will be averted in Tevinter? Are we going to stop Solis bringing down the veil? But there could be other catastrophes that could be averted. such as something to do with blights and old gods. Fear of ruin. Things might fall into ruin. Deeper understanding. Ooh, this is a really positive one. Deeper understanding of the truths that will be found. Deeper understanding with what has already been revealed by Corypheus and those people. Disappointment, mercy, recovery, forgiveness, recovery and forgiveness. So maybe Tevinter will recover from its past mistakes caused by past Vints, and maybe there will be forgiveness in store for what past Vints have caused. I think that would be kind of interesting to explore, which is kind of the direction that Dorian was hoping to bring things into Tevinter when he joined the Magisterium. So this isn't all bad when reversed. That's pretty good. So far, it was all passing influences. I forgot to mention it. So far, it was all passing influences, just passing influences more immediate, passing influences in near future, and then passing influences far into the future. What we just looked at was the environment. And so this is very positive for the environment of Tevinter. Now let's look at the strengths and advantages of Tevinter. And here we have the High Priestess, which is Vivian. Vivian appears twice in this reading. And so the High Priestess, I see it as Vivian represents the circle. So of course, the Andrastian circle might be an influence, might play a part with what's going on, what's going to be happening, and what is currently happening in Tevinter. All right, so reversed. It's fatigue, clouded insight, strengths and advantages, clouded insight. Vanity. Maybe the clouded insight could be used as a strength and say, well, you know, play innocent while we were none the wiser. So that could play to their advantage. Vanity, laziness, loss of motivation, discretion that is required. So discretion could be a very excellent advantage. Short-sightedness, but short-sightedness also means that even if you can't see past the bigger picture, you see things very clearly in the short term. So yes, there's short-sightedness, but that could be flipped around to either our advantage when we get to Tevinter and use that to our advantage, or it could be used to Tevinter's advantage. Ignoring intuition, that's not so much an advantage, but we could use it to our advantage if Tevinter is ignoring intuition. When it's negative things appearing as strengths and advantages, they could be flipped around, or they could be used by, if it's from the enemy, by us to our advantage, or the enemy could use it to their advantage because it's a weakness used to someone else's advantage. Or we discover this weakness and then we turn it around, we transform that weakness, we inform ourselves. So like someone's not, like fatigue, then you rest and you turn that fatigue into an advantage by resting and gaining strength. So that could be interesting. Number 9 is thoughts and concerns. And we have the Lovers. We have Varric. Varric as thoughts and concerns. Bianca, the Merchants Guild, he does know a lot of people. He's very connected. So, thoughts and concerns. Maybe his thoughts and concerns have to do with Red Lyrium. Seriously. So it is upright, partnership, trust, rational faculties, the balance of opposites, knowledge and collaboration. So knowledge, seeking truth, collaboration. So maybe we need to be careful who we trust, because maybe not necessarily super, you know, learning, writing, curiosity, harmony, careful consideration of choices. That's positive, but positive things we need to keep in mind that they could also be transformed and become a concern. Loyalty to a fault could be a disadvantage. Camaraderie, coalition, that's significant because so far we've been at odds with the Vints. So coalition is joining forces together against a common cause, which could also raise concern, considering we're going to be coalitioning with Tevinter. Love despite differences. Whatever's going on in Tevinter, the first thing I think is Salavalon. Love despite differences. Varric and Bianca, love despite differences. It's interesting that the strengths and advantages were negative and the thoughts and concerns were positive, because they could be flipped around. They could almost, you know, mix and match with each other. But it's interesting to keep in mind how a strength could be a weakness. So it could be cause for concern, but then a weakness could also be a strength. So that's pretty interesting. And number 10, the outcome. Tevinter and the outcome. And we have the 8 of Swords. 8 of Swords, how significant? The mage class. So we have Vivian, the mages, or Tevinter. There are lots of mages in Tevinter. No, very few staves, and not the card that represents the Tevinter Imperium, but the mage card. That's pretty interesting. So the outcome has to do with mages, and it's reversed. All right, so truth made clear. Wow. Truth made clear. Tevinter. What's linked to Tevinter? The Magisters entering the Golden City / Black City, and what Corypheus claimed. So the truth will be made clear. That's really exciting for me to read, because I'm really curious, like, what's the truth? I have all these theories. Some theories contradict other theories, but like, I don't care, you know, seriously. So truth made clear, that would be like so awesome. The truth about these magisters, the truth about the blights, what Corypheus said, is that true? Discovery of an injustice. What injustice are we going to discover? The injustice of the whole of the chantry? Everything in the chant of light, is that all an injustice? You know, theories about you know, falsities within the chant of light of the maker. Is everything behind that, does it represent a major injustice in Thedas? Or does it have to do with mages? Injustices towards mages and the right of tranquility. You know, injustice, does it have to do with justice, with Anders if he's still alive? You know, it is, oh, this card with the outcome, it's already like so much. Self-imposed restrictions. Well, the Chantry mages have self-imposed restrictions. They're not allowed to use blood magic, so that represents that. Catharsis, okay. Hasty actions that are regretted. So there's going to be an outcome of someone is going to act hastily and then regret it. Is it going to be Solus? Is it going to happen in Tevinter? Is it going to be a Vint, you know, happening in Tevinter? This is not one particular Vint, it's in Tevinter. So there's going to be a hasty action. Are we going to act too hastily and then regret it when we don't get the ending that we want? Then we have to start the game all over again to make sure that not everybody dies when we go to the, Mass Effect 2. So, to the collective base, you know? I was gonna say to the Reaper base, but it's not the Reaper base, it's just the giant human Reaper, but then, like, you know what I mean. So, freedom from oppression. Oppression from the belief systems of the Chantry and the Chant of Light. The mages, the Mage Templar War Rebellion, the Mage Rebellion. Are the mages going to be free from oppression? Elven slaves free from oppression. In Tevinter. In Tevinter, it's going to be discovered, like, mages are going to be free from oppression. Like, wow, this card, wow, I'm really excited. Like, can you tell? Liberation. Liberation of slaves, liberation of mages. Like, wow, okay, like, I can't keep up with my thoughts, and I'm having trouble finding words to put to them, so I might have some afterthoughts. But do let me know in the comments below if you're as excited as I am, or if you're like with this. Wow, greater acuity. Yeah, wow, this card, man, this card, like lots happening in this one card. You know, last reading was the first card, and then the rest of the reading was like, meh, you know, kind of. Okay, so let's just look at, wow. Whew. Okay, so the 3 swords. Thoughts, intellect, strategy, plans, ambition, worry, decision, strength, power, fear, conflict, and then things that represent air, breath, and such. And then we have a lot of major arcana with the nature of things a lot. It's more really the cards themselves and the representations of the cards. Oh, I told you I was feeling it today for Tevinter. I told you I was feeling it. Oh man. All right, so that's it for today's reading, and more readings to come. Let me know in the comments below if you have other ideas for more readings and all that stuff. This is really exciting. This is really interesting. So, you know, it doesn't, things aren't etched in stone, you know, things can still move around, things can still change, but definitely when the game comes out, I'm going to be like, I don't know, it's going to take me forever to get through because I'm going to be comparing notes and everything or something, but this is really exciting, and I'm really excited about today's reading. This is like pretty awesome. So like this video if you like it. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts, your takeaway from this reading. And I'll see you all soon with more Dragon Age and more gaming content, more gameplay, and all sorts of wonderful Bioware game stuff and Dragon Age stuff. Masaranas.
Be sure to check out some of my other stuff. Gaming, drinks, parodies, and some random silly stuff. You can also join in on the fun on Patreon for some exclusive content. Thanks for tuning in.